Kelly Ripa has never been one to mince words, but even by her famously candid standards, this particular confession landed with a splash, and not the good kind. It started, as many modern debates do, with a seemingly harmless observation that spiraled into a full-blown commentary on human behavior. Somewhere between the chatter of morning television and the relatable banter she shares with her audience, Kelly Ripa voiced a thought that many people have quietly had, but few have dared to say out loud. People who walk into airplane bathrooms wearing only their socks are living dangerously. Worse, they're living delusionally. Spoiler alert, she declared with a mix of horror and disbelief. You're standing in urine. The statement was so blunt, so unapologetically vivid, that it instantly etched itself into the collective imagination. Anyone who has ever flown commercial, even once, felt a chill run through their sock-covered feet. For Ripa, this wasn't just about germs. It was about logic, about common sense, about the unspoken rules of shared public spaces that apparently not everyone agreed upon. The airplane bathroom, she implied, is not a sanctuary. It is not a living room. It is not a place for comfort-driven fashion choices. It is, quite frankly, a biohazard wrapped in a locking door at 35,000 feet. Her reaction wasn't delivered as a detached complaint, but as a visceral response, the kind that comes from genuine shock that people can look at the same situation and draw wildly different conclusions. Socks, in Ripa's worldview, are intimate items. They touch your bed, your couch, your home. They are not meant to meet the mysterious, damp floor of an airplane lavatory, a floor that has seen more traffic, turbulence, and questionable aim than anyone would care to imagine. What appalled her most wasn't just the act itself, but the casual confidence with which people do it. The ease, the nonchalance. As if stepping barefoot or sockfoot into an airplane bathroom was no different from padding into your kitchen for a midnight snack. Ripa's disgust struck a nerve because it highlighted something oddly universal. The moment when you realize your definition of normal does not match someone else's at all. We all have those lines we assume everyone respects. For Kelly Ripa, one of those lines is footwear in public restrooms, especially airborne ones. Airplane bathrooms occupy a unique category in the hierarchy of unpleasant places. They are cramped, overused, and cleaned on a schedule that can never quite keep up with reality. They are shared by hundreds of strangers with different standards of hygiene, balance, and urgency. The floor, as Ripa so vividly reminded everyone, is not dry because someone mopped it 5 minutes ago. It's dry because you're choosing not to look too closely. Her commentary tapped into a deeper truth about modern travel, the illusion of cleanliness. Planes look sleek and polished. The lighting is soft, the surfaces are smooth, and everything is designed to feel controlled and safe. But beneath that curated calm is a reality that most travelers prefer not to dwell on. Ripa, however, was more than happy to dwell. In her telling, socks become unwilling victims, innocent casualties in a war against poor judgment. Once they've touched that floor, they're no longer just socks. They're evidence. They're contaminated souvenirs of a choice that can't be undone until you're home, shoes off, staring at your feet and questioning every decision that led you there. There's also something quintessentially Kelly Ripa about the way she framed the issue. She didn't scold. She didn't lecture. She horrified. With humor sharpened by truth, she painted an image so uncomfortable that it did all the convincing for her. No charts, no statistics, just a blunt reminder of gravity, liquids, and shared spaces. The reaction from fans was immediate and polarized. Some applauded her for saying what everyone was thinking. Others admitted, sheepishly, that they had been those sock-wearing offenders. Confessions poured in, often followed by vows to never repeat the mistake now that the mental picture was permanently burned into their minds. What makes Ripa's rant linger isn't just the shock value, it's the relatability. Travel strips people down to their most vulnerable selves. We're tired, disoriented, and eager for comfort. Shoes come off. Routines loosen. Boundaries blur. But Ripa's point was clear. Comfort has limits, and hygiene should be one of them. There's also an underlying commentary on personal responsibility. When you enter a shared space, especially one as confined and unavoidable as an airplane bathroom, your choices ripple outward. The floor you step on is the same floor someone else will step on. The moisture you ignore becomes the surprise someone else discovers. Socks, in this context, are not just a personal risk, they're a symbol of obliviousness. Kelly Ripa's disgust resonated because it reminded people that public spaces require a baseline of mutual respect, even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. The airplane bathroom door closes, the lock clicks, and for a moment it feels private. But it is. It never really is. In the end, her message was simple, even if her delivery was anything but subtle. Wear shoes. Keep them on. Protect your socks, your sanity, and your sense of cleanliness. Because once you've stepped into that bathroom unprotected, there's no unknowing what your feet have been through. And perhaps that's the real reason her words stuck. Kelly Ripa didn't just call out a gross habit. She shattered the comforting illusion that some people were clinging to. She forced everyone to confront a truth they'd rather avoid. The airplane bathroom floor is not your friend.